Hi, my name's Fran and I am an eye clinic liaison officer from Kent Association for the Blind. Last time we learned about some fun eye facts, and today we're going to find out all about the different parts of your eye and what they're called. So you're going to need a balloon, a pen that will write on the balloon, and a piece of string. If you haven't got those, pause the video and go and grab them. And if you have got them, we're going to blow our balloon up. So if you need help with that, then ask somebody to help you. Bit more. That's it. So it doesn't need to be too big. And then we'll tie off the end of our balloon. Oh, there we go. Again, if you need help, get somebody to help you. Okay, so we're going to pretend that this is our eye. Now I know it's not the right shape, but it's okay. And we're going to pretend that this is the front of our eye, and this bit with the knobbly bit is the back of our eye. Now the first thing that you will notice about the eye is the white outer part, and that's called the sclera. The sclera. And the sclera is the outside shell of the eye. It keeps all the squishy stuff in where it needs to be, so obviously it's quite important. And at the front of the eye is a special invisible window which is called the cornea. The cornea. And the cornea's job is to protect the front of the eye, but we can't really draw that on because it's invisible. So the first thing that we are going to draw on is the pupil. The pupil. Now the pupil is the black bit in the middle of our eye. So let's draw that on first. There we go. And colour it in. Oh, my balloon's a bit squeaky. Now the pupil is actually a hole, but obviously if we were to put a hole into our balloon it would go pop, so we won't do that. Alright, now around the pupil is our iris. And the iris is the coloured part of our eye. So my eyes are kind of a bluey colour, and as we learnt last time, that means that I am distantly related to the first person that was born with blue eyes. So your eyes might be a different colour. You can choose whatever colour you like to draw your iris on. I'm going to go with blue. Okay, so let's draw that on. Now your iris colour is genetic. So if you look at your mum or your dad or your brothers and sisters, even your grandparents, they will probably have, one of them will have the same colour eyes as you. And that's because obviously it's passed down through families. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Let's draw our eye colour in. Go. Oh, nearly done. Lovely. So it should look a little bit like this. Now behind the iris is our lens. And the lens would actually be on the inside of the balloon, which we can't get to. So we're going to pretend we're going to draw it around the outside. So let's draw our lens around the outside here, just a line around the edge. And the lens is actually clear, but we're just going to pretend. Now the lens and the iris, they both move. And obviously when we move, we have muscles, like the muscles in our arms, to help us to move, and nerves. So in the eye, there's a special part of the eye called the ciliary body. Ciliary body. There's lots of funny names in the eye. And the ciliary body is the muscles and nerves that help the eye to move. So we're going to get our pen and we're going to draw the ciliary body on. We're going to make it a funny wiggly line so it looks like nerves. Ready? Wiggle, 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 all the way around our balloon. Alright? Now behind all of these parts there's actually quite a large gap. And in that gap is a squishy jelly substance which is called the vitreous gel. And the job of the vitreous gel is to keep the eye shape, because obviously if I hadn't put enough air in my balloon it would be all squishy and it wouldn't be very round. And the same is with our eyes. If we don't have enough vitreous gel, our eye will be all squishy and floppy and then we won't be able to see as well. So then we move to the back of the eye. Now at the back of the eye we have a really important part called the retina. Retina. So let's draw our retina on. Okay, with a circle at the back of the eye. And the retina is very important because it's the processing part. So at the front we focus so that we can see, and then at the back of the eye we do all the processing. So the retina contains lots of special cells called photoreceptor cells. It's a funny word, isn't it, photoreceptor, and they are called rods and cones. So we're going to draw the rods on first. Okay, so get your pen, and then just round the edge of the retina we're going to dot some of our rod cells on. Now rod cells are really interesting because they are our detective cells. Oh yes. Now if you see something out of the corner of your eye, your rod cells alert you to tell you that it's going on, to make sure that you notice it. Okay, so there are detective cells. So let's just, they don't need to be too close together. There we go. So it should look a bit like that. Now in the middle of our retina is a really special part called the macula. So we're going to draw that on now. The macula is just a little circle, and the macula contains thousands and thousands of the cone cells. So the cone cells are in the rest of the retina, but there's almost millions of them in this macula. So let's draw those on now. Ready? And we can go mad with this. Let's go dot 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 dot. Keep dotting, keep dotting. Careful not to pop your balloon. And then in your macula, dot in there as well, loads of them. Dot 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 dot. So you should have a really spotty balloon by now, like that. Okay, so the rods and cones, they need to get the message up to the brain. And we have a special nerve at the back of the eye called the optic nerve. The optic nerve. So this knobbly bit here, we're going to pretend is the optic nerve head. Now on the inside of the back of the eye, on the optic nerve head, is something called the optic disc. The optic disc. And the optic disc is different because it doesn't have any of these special rod or cone cells on it, which means that there's a blind spot in our eye, and we're going to find that another time. So now we need to get our optic nerve on. So get your piece of string and tie it onto your balloon. So you might need some help with this. Ask somebody to help you. Now your optic nerve is really important because it's the optic nerve's job to take all of the information from our eye and send it up to the brain so the brain can interpret what we're seeing. It's a little bit like if you turn a switch on, a light, the electricity goes through the cable so the light goes on, and that is exactly the same in the eye. The message goes through the optic nerve to the brain. Now if you remember, I said front for focusing and back for processing, and next time we're going to find out all about how the eye works, so all of those different parts working together so that we can see. I hope you've enjoyed finding out about the different parts of your eye today, and if you would like to, I would love it if you would draw me a picture or make me a model of an eye with all of the different parts that we've talked about. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye! Don't forget to bring your balloon next time. Bye.